Hey guys, Boris Haas from BK Forex. Welcome to our Forex Daily Technicals for 8/13/13. As always, trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and not suitable for all investors. So I ask you to read this disclaimer very carefully to understand all the issues associated with trading Forex on margin and understand all the risks and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Well, I think today the story clearly is dollar yen because look at this very nice clean double bottom bounce here it made around 96. And as we start the Asian session, it's already seeking its way through 97s and essentially kind of finding a little bit of resistance here at 97.30, which was the former break here from a couple days back. Um, Taking out 97, as I said earlier, is really the relief of the oversold conditions. It puts it back into a neutral position. And as you can see, this is a very sharp, nice looking run here on a dailies. And the fact that it basically holding well above 97 really bodes relatively well. This overhead is what it's got to face here as far as resistance, basically around 98, this bunch up around 98, where it had former resistance here, was support here, broke through support, and now it's probably going to bump its way up against the 98s. But generally, that's a pretty healthy recovery here. And on a longer term basis, if you look at this recovery, it's actually bodes relatively well because you have a low, a higher low, and if this is indeed the low for this particular down leg, a higher low yet. So overall, on a longer term basis, the uptrend remains intact as long as we can remain around these levels. If we start to break below here, and if 96 goes the other way, then obviously it's going to create much bigger technical issues and essentially creates a much deeper test here around the 94s as a possible move. So for the time being, a nice rebound in the dollar yen continues to go up. If we get positive flow out of U.S. retail sales tomorrow, it has a chance to go even through the 98s perhaps on a much steeper recovery and take out all of the early shorts that set themselves up around this 97, 96 level. Let's take a look and see how it goes. But for now, all signs point up as we start Asia session. Euro, on the other hand, definitely topped out at 34s here. Really found a second, basically a double top resistance, and now it's consolidating, but not really suffering too badly. This 30 right now, basically 32.50 is the key support level. As long as it holds, it's more of a consolidation than a full retreat from the highs. And as long as the euro can sort of bunch up around here, it may have a potential to make yet another run towards the 34s. If we start breaking 32.50s, then it really becomes a much deeper double top formation. And it looks like then we target 32s and probably around 31s as the downflow really starts to accelerate. Similarly, pound dollar, as we noted yesterday, really topped out at this 56 level and basically continues to just remain weak as we open up the Asia session. We have CPI, PPI data out of UK today. Not usually a big mover, but could be potentially a mover today. We'll see if it has any impact. The point being is if cable sort of retreats back into the 54s, which is now the support area over here, that would really cement the idea that 56 was topping out level and could possibly take us all the way out to 53, 52.50 on a retrace level. So worth watching pound here as it kind of acts around this 54.50 level to see if it holds. If 54.50s go, then we have potential to make it all the way out to 54s and then perhaps even break even further to the downside. And Aussie remains supportive, but also coming off the 92s. 92s were a little bit too much for Aussie after having recovered all the way from 88.50s. But still, of all the crosses, Aussie remains stronger than the other crosses in terms of holding up its momentum. And for now, as long as it holds around the 91s, it maintains more or less its neutral upward bias here. 93 still caps very much. This was a big recovery off of clearly a very steep oversold condition. And I think it may take 3 or 4 days for it to work this off before we can get any kind of directionality view. Not any kind of Aussie data this week that's of any material import. So it's just going to have to be a trade on the crosses that we'll be watching. As far as the crosses go, a couple of interesting looks here. Obviously, you have Euro Aussie that broke down yesterday, took out the 45s, and 45 now becomes a very key level. So this 45, if 45 starts to go to the downside, that is, if they start breaking 45s, that would really suggest perhaps a more significant topping formation in Euro Aussie at this 150 level. And an unwind could now take us all the way up to 42.50s. If, on the other hand, we start to bounce back, then you have a potential challenge here right back for a double top and I would suggest that we could get stronger euros and much weaker Aussie going forward as it starts to deteriorate again on the crosses. Similarly with pound dollar, pound Aussie, I'm gonna have to do this manually. Bear with me. But both of the odd crosses are certainly worth watching. So same kind of a thing here. Pound Aussie kind of holding around the 67.50 level. Excuse me, 68 level. 68 is a support here. 68 gets broken, then you have a much deeper topping formation in the pound dollars, just like you do in the euro odd. And I would suggest that the COM dollars are coming back against the European currencies, and the European currencies are really starting to weaken against the dollar. I think that could be an interesting theme this week as the week develops, because nothing else is really going on of much import. So for tomorrow, it's all eyes on dollar yen to see if we can climb 98s off the U.S. retail, whether this is a true, really significant rebound, or whether this is just yet another fake out and we're going to come right back to 96s if we get bad data. And the continuation of this COM dollars against the European currencies trade that's starting to develop, where the COM dollars starting to strengthen now significantly, and see if this is indeed going to break into much steeper swing highs position here in the pound Aussie and the euro Aussie. Wishing you guys the best of luck and the best of trading. This is Boris Schlossberg for BK Forex. Over and out.